The following is a rebroadcast of Action News at 10, which aired on Friday, March 9th, 1979.
President Carter and Egyptian President Anwar Sadat have ended their second day of peace talks, but today's talks apparently did not produce anything concrete. Good evening and welcome to Action News at 10. I'm Dick Niffing. Carter was cheered by millions of Egyptians today as he traveled by train from Cairo to Alexandria. Although Sadat told reporters later that Egypt and Israel are on the verge of a treaty, U.S. officials say the issue of Palestinian self-rule remains a problem. Sam Donaldson has more on the President's Day.
If the Cairo motorcade was impressive, this Alexandria motorcade was smashing. Never has President Carter seen such a display. The Egyptians were almost frenzied in their greetings through the city and along the harbor road that skirts the Mediterranean Sea. And while Sadat waved his hand in a near-regal acknowledgement, President Carter was frequently moved to uncharacteristic emotion by the experience. It was exhilarating. But then peace treaties are not written in the street. And for both men, an evening business meeting was surely more important than the frenzy of the day. Just words is how Sadat had described the differences. But if the glum expressions of the two when the meeting was over were any indication, the right words to bring agreement are still unfound. At tonight's state dinner, the toast spoke of hope, but not of success. White House officials say there has been progress, but acknowledge there are still obstacles. A formal statement speaks of unresolved differences. So it seems clear that Mr. Carter will be going to Israel tomorrow, not with Sadat's agreement as he had hoped, but with Sadat's counter-proposals. And that does not augur well for the success of this mission. Sam Donaldson, ABC News, Ras El Khaimah Palace, Alexandria, Egypt.
In Israel today, Prime Minister Begin was reported to be keeping a close watch on the Carter-Sadat talks. Begin said the whole peace treaty issue now depends on Egypt's response to the U.S. compromise proposals. Mr. Carter arrives in Israel tomorrow morning. Also in the headlines tonight, the death penalty in the juvenile code discussed in Santa Fe tonight, and a bridge between El Paso and Juarez has been shut down by angry Mexican demonstrators. Mike?
We have basketball scores tonight, Dick.
Lots of them.
High school, boys, girls, NCAA, NBA.
Not a good night for New Mexico. College ranks.
College basketball season is about over.
We're going to take our second look tonight at the problem of mechanics' liens.
Started that last night.
Right.
Howard?
Minor day-to-day changes in the weather for the next few days.
Pretty nice overall, huh?
Right.
The Judiciary Committees of both the House and the Senate worked late in Santa Fe tonight, one on a capital punishment bill, the other on the proposed new juvenile code. Emil Roberts worked late too, filed this report.
The Senate Judiciary Committee put off recommending any action on the reinstatement of the death penalty until Monday. As it stands now, the bill calls for capital punishment in certain murder cases, such as killing of a policeman or murder for hire. 2 amendments were proposed this evening, but no action taken. One requires a change in the method of execution from the gas chamber to an injection of a lethal drug.
And my proposal, or the reason for it, is that when we've taken the step to take a life as punishment, the loss of the life is the punishment, shouldn't be the method. And I just think that this is a more humane way of carrying out the punishment.
Another amendment introduced by Senator Manny Erdogan would require the condemned to be hanged to death in full view of the public at high noon. It would also require the execution to be done in the county where the killing occurred. Erdogan said since the intent of the bill is to deter murder, that a public hanging should do just that. Erdogan is opposed to the death penalty. No action was taken on the death penalty because one committee member who requested to vote on the measure was not present. That member, Senator Caleb Chandler, was in the House chambers presenting his bill, the Juvenile Code, to the House Judiciary Committee. The point of controversy on that measure was the bill's provision to allow the use of confessions given by juvenile offenders.
I strongly feel that if a child makes a statement, that if he does understand his rights, that statement should be able to be used against him in a court of law.
Opponents of the bill disagreed and argued juveniles don't have the maturity or judgment to make decisions on basic rights. The committee agreed to some extent and adopted an amendment throwing out confessions of those younger than 15. Many other amendments are to be considered when deliberations on the Juvenile Code continue Sunday afternoon. Emil Roberts, Action 7 News, at the state capitol.
Some 400 angry Mexican demonstrators blocked the Santa Fe Bridge between El Paso and Juarez about 10:30 this morning, and at last report were still doing so. The demonstrators are protesting U.S. immigration policies. They were sparked by the roundup in El Paso today of about 100 Mexican women who have been working illegally there as maids. They were all returned to Juarez before they could collect their wages. Mexican federal troops were called to the blockaded bridge, and they watched the demonstrators for a time, but they have now been withdrawn and the bridge remains closed. 4 former city employees have been indicted in the Parks and Recreation Department scandal. More on that when Action News at 10 continues.
This is a rebroadcast of Action News at 10 from TV 7, viewed in more homes than any other newscast on any other station in New Mexico.
Many dream of the great new Thunderbird. And if you're one of them, you won't want to miss Rich Ford's T-Bird Takeoff. Rich Ford is offering several dozen Thunderbirds, all discounted to clearance prices. Look at this example. A brand new 79 Thunderbird for just $59.99. The Thunderbird isn't an ordinary car. It's beautifully equipped with everything from air conditioning to automatic. Just $59.99 during our T-Bird Takeoff at Rich Ford, Lomas in Wyoming Northeast.
Speak up, what do you want?
Don't miss the moving story of Peter Marshall. Richard Todd and Gene Peters star in A Man Called Peter, Sunday night at 10:30 on TV 7.
This is Archbishop Robert Sanchez. Everyone needs to grow, so why not grow with the Catholic schools? Working with parents, they assist each student in harmonious development of his or her full potential. Catholic schools, growing stronger with your gift. A message from the Archbishop's School Fund. Thank you.
The Bernalillo County Grand Jury has indicted 4 former City Parks and Recreation Department employees on felony counts. The indictments handed down today may be just the first of more to come as a result of wrongdoing in that department. District Attorney Ira Robinson talked with reporters this afternoon. Bob Grebe was among them.
The district attorney identified the 4 former city employees as Gary Hines, the captain of the UNM wrestling team, former UNM basketball player Norm Casey, and 2 other men identified as Thomas Nielsen and Robert E. Kelly.
Generally, all of these people that were indicted were charged with either paying or receiving public monies for services that was not rendered to the city of Albuquerque.
Robinson alleges the 4 managed to have payroll checks printed for several people who had left city employment and then cashed the fraudulent checks. Kelly is charged on 3 felony counts, Hines and Nielsen on 2, and Casey on 1 count. Each count is punishable upon conviction by 1 to 5-year prison terms. Robinson said his office is continuing the Parks and Recreation Department investigation, and there are others who will be prosecuted. Bob Grebe, Action 7 News.
Raymond Aragon is in the state penitentiary tonight. Albuquerque police, acting on a Crime Stoppers tip, arrested the 19-year-old convicted murderer in a house on 47th Street Northwest about 2:40 this afternoon. He offered no resistance. Aragon was mistakenly released from the City County Detention Center Monday night on a bond that was posted for another Raymond Aragon. Corrections officials will meet with the DA's staff next week to discuss steps to prevent such mistakes in the future. Albuquerque Police violent crimes detectives say they have no new leads tonight in the brutal murder early today of a still unidentified woman. A jogger in Graves Park at 9th and Cutler Northwest spotted the naked body of a woman in her mid-30s beneath a jungle gym apparatus in the park about 6 a.m. A couple of articles of clothing were found next to the body and a coat believed to have belonged to the woman, was found elsewhere in the park, but there was no identification. The victim had been repeatedly stabbed, perhaps beaten as well. Autopsy results, which should be available tomorrow or Monday, will tell whether she was sexually assaulted. It appears she had been dead for about 6 hours. The woman's fingerprints have been sent to the FBI crime lab in Washington for possible identification. This is the suburban Chicago home of accused mass murderer John Wayne Gacy. Today, police found the body of another young man in Gacy's backyard, bringing to 28 the total number of bodies that have been found on his property so far. The significance of today's discovery is more than just an increase in the body count, though. Up until now, Gacy has told police that all of his victims were buried beneath the house. Discovery of this victim in the backyard gives rise to the question of how many more bodies there might be. Tennessee Senator Howard Baker, speaking today in Indianapolis, said that he will seek the Republican nomination for president in 1980. Baker said he'll make his formal announcement later this year. Earlier this week, a group of Ronald Reagan supporters announced Reagan's intention to run. So far, 4 Republicans have announced for the GOP nomination. At Children's Hospital in Washington today, a Senate committee held a hearing on President Carter's proposed plan to hold hospital cost increases to 10% a year. Senator Edward Kennedy, who backs the Carter proposal, said the legislation would save Americans $53 billion over the next 5 years. Lobbyists for the hospital industry said putting a ceiling on cost increases would lead to a reduction in services. Vietnam is accusing China of lying about its withdrawal from Vietnamese territory. Radio Hanoi charges that in some places the Chinese are actually advancing. Meanwhile, China has accused Vietnam of firing on withdrawing troops. No one's sure which side, if either, is telling the truth. Speaking of not telling the truth, Uganda's president for life, Idi Amin, said today that his war against Tanzanian invaders has turned dramatically in his favor. However, diplomatic sources say that's not true, that in fact the invaders could probably walk into Kampala, the capital city of Uganda, if they chose to. A federal judge in Milwaukee today issued a 10-day restraining order to prevent Progressive magazine from publishing an article on how to make a hydrogen bomb. The government asked for the ban because the government feels the article could harm national security. Julie Eckert has more.
Articles on how to build atomic bombs have been printed before. This one, in an underground newspaper, showed diagrams and gave step-by-step instructions. Now a respectable magazine called The Progressive says it too will publish an article on building hydrogen bombs. The Progressive is read in 125 foreign countries. Recently, its editors sent a copy of the bomb article to the U.S. Energy Department to have it checked for accuracy. The federal government responded with such alarm that it is trying to prevent the article's publication permanently. The Justice Department argues this article contains secret, restricted information. If published, it could cause serious and irreparable harm to the security of the United States. The Justice Department says other nations could use it to develop their own nuclear weapons. But ironically, the editors of The Progressive say the magazine is committed to world disarmament. They say this article was only supposed to be a test of government secrecy in its weapons program. It was not supposed to teach bomb building.
The Vatican announced today the death of French Cardinal Jean Viaud, who has served as the Vatican Secretary of State for the past 10 years. The 73-year-old Cardinal Viaud had been released from the hospital earlier this week, where he had been undergoing treatment for bronchial pneumonia. State Highway 44 was blocked in the Nageezi area northwest of Cuba for most of today because of a 3-foot crack in the pavement. 2 of the 3 culverts that run under that highway near Nageezi were apparently clogged with dirt from recent work done by a pipeline company. The full pressure of runoff, which is being caused in the area by prematurely warm temperatures, was then concentrated on the 3rd culvert, which sank and the highway cracked. Repair work on the highway was completed. The road reopened by 4:30 this afternoon. It was revealed today that one of television's most famous animal stars, the talking horse, Mr. Ed, died on February 28th at the age of 33. His death was kept quiet by the Tharp family, which owned him. Mr. Ed made his last public appearance 5 years ago in Muskogee, Oklahoma. Basketball, lots of basketball, tops the sports news this Friday night. Here's Mike Roberts for Jim Boggio. Michael?
You know what happens when there are boys district tournament, girls state tournament? A lot of scores.
College tournaments going on, everything. Yeah.
The boys district tournaments are in full swing this weekend. One of the big games came in District 2-4A as Manzano met the Del Norte Knights. Luis Quinones was there.
All I can say is you should have been there. Manzano and Del Norte went at each other from the opening tip-off until the final gun had sounded. And the reward? Well, not only would the winner advance into the 2-4A finals, but also to the state tournament. Del Norte held a 31-26 lead at halftime and appeared to have gained control. However, Manzano came out strong early in the second half, and it was neck and neck from then on. With Del Norte leading 56-55, Manzano's David Welchel scored on a reverse layup with 5 seconds left on the clock. Del Norte's desperation shot failed at the buzzer. Manzano goes to state. The final score, Manzano 57, Del Norte 56. This is Luis Quiñones, Action 7 Sports.
In other New Mexico boys high school basketball games around the state, St. Pius defeated Bloomfield 53-50. It was Bernalillo over Kirtland Central 69-55. Santa Fe beat Los Alamos 65-51. West Las Vegas over St. Mike's by 2, 68-66. Penasco goes to state, beating Clayton 62-48. McCurdy over Santa Rosa 74-60. Through beat Coronado 74-55. It was Mora over Hatch 81-74. Moriarty beat Jow 47-39. Estancia defeated Dexter 76-64. Cimarron 80, Hope 64, Des Moines 65, New Mexico School for the Deaf 59. Hagerman beat Grady in 3 overtimes tonight, 83-82, and it was Cobre over Silver City 69-66. And in other games, Lordsburg beat Cuesta 55-45. In girls, New Mexico State High School basketball today and tonight. In Class Quad A, Farmington defeated Sandia, and it was El Dorado beating Hobbs. In Class AAA, St. Pius over Portales, Kirtland Central edged Cobre. In Class AA, Fort Sumner defeated Dexter, and at halftime, Crown Point has the lead over Clayton. In Class A, Texaco beat Amistad, Floyd and Crowdcroft are still playing. First round action in the NCAA basketball tournament got underway tonight. St. John's upset number 16 Temple. It was Penn over Iona. Lamar defeated number 20 Detroit. Lamar beaten earlier in the year by New Mexico by 13 points. Number 18 Tennessee going against Eastern Kentucky. At halftime, Jacksonville leads Virginia Tech. It is New Mexico State losing to Weber State in overtime tonight. Southern Cal and Utah State will play later. At halftime, Pepperdine has a lead over Utah. 6 games in the National Basketball Association tonight. Detroit scored 160 points as Boston didn't have much defense. It was Seattle over New Jersey. Indiana beat Portland. Washington over Kansas, or check that, it's Kansas City over Washington. Milwaukee defeated Philadelphia. And at the end of the first quarter, Chicago leads Los Angeles. Boxing, men's and women's golf, and baseball. The Giants sign a former Dodger, and exhibition scores next on Action 7 Sports.
Errol Flynn, Juliette Greco, Eddie Albert, and Orson Welles star in the exciting drama The Roots of Heaven, Saturday night at 10:30 on TV7.
Brian Stout, rape. Philip Joseph Cedillo, commercial burglary, larceny, car theft. Nick Montano, burglary, larceny, escape from jail. Dick Wendell Holt, trafficking in heroin and conspiracy. Ronald Evans McDonald, residential burglary, larceny. Robert Pearson, forgery, fraudulent use of credit cards. Kathy Evelyn Seiss, residential burglary, larceny. These people are Albuquerque's 7 most wanted. Help Crime Stoppers put them where they belong.
The work the civil engineer has done is planned for all on Earth. When he builds the things we need, he thinks of how they look. He's careful of the world we have. The future is in your hands, too. Keep it clean.
Unbeaten Wilfredo Gomez retained his World Boxing Council Super Bantamweight title tonight when he TKO'd Nestor Jimenez of Colombia in the 5th round. Hale Irwin and Tommy Aaron shared the lead after the 2nd round of the Inverary Classic. Irwin grabbed a part of the lead with a record 10 under par 62. Irwin had 8 birdies and an eagle during his round. Jack Nicklaus just made the cut. Lee Trevino and Andy Bean did not. The second round of the $100,000 Sunstar Classic Golf Tournament for women. As the second round is over, and Hollis Stacy has a one-shot lead. Dale Lundquist is in second, and New Mexico's Nancy Lopez, the defending champ, is 3 shots back with the third round set for tomorrow. The San Francisco Giants signed free agent Bill North to a 2-year contract today. North played out his option last year for the Los Angeles Dodgers. North hit .234, stole 27 bases, and drove in 10 runs with the Dodgers. The exhibition baseball season is underway. A few games were played today in Florida and a couple in Arizona. Detroit beat Boston, Kansas City over the New York Yankees. Philly shut out Montreal. Pittsburgh beat the Chicago White Sox. Atlanta trounced Houston. Los Angeles over Texas. Seattle beat the Chicago Cubs, and San Francisco had an easy time with Milwaukee. New Mexico's baseball team goes against unbeaten Colorado State tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock at the Sports Stadium. Coach Vince Capelli's Lobos will meet CSU in a twin bill.
You know, with Pius and Bernalillo both winning tonight, both go to state down in Las Cruces next week. The sports writers down there, who don't usually cover those teams anyway because they hardly ever play down there, are going to have their hands full. Because Bernalillo is the Spartans and Pius is the Sartans.
That's right. We have our hands full up here.
Yeah, they get it mixed up here often enough. Can you imagine those guys? Ed Pennybaker's here on your behalf right after we pause for this.
Ready? Want that? There we go. Got another one here. So you all ready for the big Super Kids Field Day? Yeah! Hi, I'm Norm Ellenberger, and if you're in the 3rd to the 5th grade, you too can be a Super Kid. You'll receive one of these Super Kid buttons right here, maybe even a T-shirt. Win a trip to Disneyland for you and your parents. Lots of other donated prizes. Pick up your sponsor forms at the local school or Circle K stores. Be someone super. Help your lung association. I hope to see you on March 17th.
Attend the St. Joseph Hospital Good Samaritan Dinner and Art Auction, March 16th at the Hilton Inn. Bid on works of top Southwestern artists and on selected antiques. Country Western star Charlie Pride will be present to receive a Good Samaritan Award. Balloonist Maxie Anderson will be Master of Ceremonies for this benefit event, with proceeds for laser beam equipment used in eye therapy. For ticket information, call St. Joseph Hospital, 243-8811.
The Chaparral Girl Scouts will be selling Girl Scout cookies February 23rd through March 12th. Cookie flavors are chocolate and vanilla creams, Scott teas, mints, Savannahs, $1.25 per box. Support Girl Scouting in your neighborhood. Buy Girl Scout cookies from your favorite Girl Scout.
Ed Pennybaker joins us now on your behalf. Ed?
Dick, last night we outlined how Mr. and Mrs. Benny V. Hill face having to pay twice for $17,000 worth of work done on their new house. They face what are known as mechanics' liens on cabinets, masonry work, wrought iron, and other items installed by subcontractors who were never paid by their general contractor, Merle Malin of Century 21, who went broke and declared bankruptcy. On Your Behalf went to Santa Fe and spoke to State Representative Paul Kelly, who has some ideas on protecting people like the V. Hills from unscrupulous or financially shaky builders, while at the same time protecting subcontractors.
The first protection, we will require every contractor who contracts to do a residential construction job to warn the owner in writing that liens could be filed, and it will advise the owner that he should discuss with the contractor the possibility of obtaining lien waivers or of escrowing a part of the payment until the owner is satisfied that all claims have been paid.
Okay.
If the contractor does not do that, he will have no right himself to file a claim for a lien or to enforce his contract until all liens are taken care of. Additionally, the bill provides that in the event a contractor, subcontractor, or materialman is paid as per his contract, so he has been paid in full, and he does not pay a laborer or a material supplier, and a lien is filed by that supplier or laborer and is not discharged within 90 days, that would constitute embezzlement, and in the event the individual were convicted, he would be fined up to $5,000 or sentenced to a term of 1 to 3 years in the state penitentiary.
The good news on that bill is that it has passed the House. The bad news, it's still kicking around in Senate committee. There may be a chance that it will come out of committee and be voted upon by the full Senate, but for the time being, the bottom line is to make sure you understand any contract you sign. And if there's any doubt about the stability of your contractor, make sure your title insurance specifically protects you from mechanics' liens.
Trouble is, the legislature has about 7.5 days now. It adjourns at noon a week from tomorrow. Yeah. Everything's getting bottled up. That's right. And for the V-Hills, this wouldn't help them anyway.
The law, even if it's passed, will not help the V-Hills. They may possibly have a legal defense to their problem, but it's a real touchy one.
It's really a shock, I imagine. You buy a house like that.
Terrible.
Nice weather is scheduled for tomorrow, but not quite so nice as today's. More on that right after this.
Visitors and residents have often remarked on the beauty and richness of New Mexico, yet for many, life here reflects quite a different reality. Poverty, underutilization of land resources, inadequate nutritional information, and hunger itself are conditions in New Mexico that are real. Over 320,000 New Mexicans have incomes below the federal poverty line. 53% of our farms harvest less than 50 acres. New Mexicans, poor and rich, have inadequate diets and are uninformed on how to improve them. New Mexicans pay 4% tax on food for home consumption. Why do people pay for taxes instead of for food? Why do some 18,000 food stamp households in the state make less than $200 per month? Why are some farmers leaving their farms? Why are many New Mexicans undernourished? These matters are of concern to all. Please call or write. We've got some ideas on how we can act together. The New Mexico Coalition Against Hunger, Box 80022, Albuquerque 87198. Phone 255-2828.
R2-D2 says, sometimes you Earth people use more energy than you need. Let me shed a little light on the subject with a solid-state dimmer switch. You can turn it up for reading, down for eating, or way down for whatever. It makes your energy bill smaller, your light bulbs last longer, and the Earth lasts longer. So you may never have to worry about this. It doesn't take much energy to save energy.
And time now for a look at the weather with Howard Morgan. Howard?
Should mention the northeastern portion of the state had snow today up around Raton and Trinidad, I mentioned, but after the 6 o'clock show, a viewer called me from Mills. It's about 10 miles north of Roy, and it was really snowing hard at that moment. So the snow showers had been occurring in the northeastern portion, but the rest of the state was pretty nice, Dick, and it looks as though these systems will just kind of swing on through very weak, causing scattered showers. This band of moisture all the way from the Texas area into the Mississippi and Ohio Valley areas, widespread thunder showers, those have occurred today, with some scattered showers, snow showers up through the Dakotas as a lot of cold air kind of plunges on down. Let's look at a closer view of here in New Mexico, and you can see all these clouds way in the eastern portion. Here's where most of that snow was occurring, but all of the eastern portion of the state was very cloudy early today. Now that's slowly moving on out, and see all this band of clouds here, just kind of enough to produce high clouds anywhere from southern Arizona into New Mexico, and these will kind of continue in our area through tomorrow. So tomorrow really will be a fair day with a lot of high clouds, so we'll call it a partly sunny, partly cloudy day, depending on how optimistic you are. But most of the snow showers will move on out of the state during early morning hours, so it will be generally dry as far as the weather is concerned. Temperatures will be just a little cooler than they were today. Here's that cold air pocketing coming on down in 7 above. That was the high at Bismarck, so it was very cold temperatures up there. Scattered snow showers did occur along the leading edge of that as it moved down through the lakes area, but generally speaking, most of this moisture anywhere from the Mississippi Valley eastward will slowly move and cover practically all of the eastern half of the country, anywhere from Florida right up through into the New England area. Perhaps there'll be a few more snow showers occurring in the New England region again through tomorrow, so some moisture there. And here, this is moving out, but it'll be high clouds tomorrow, mild temperatures, and we'll have that story in just a moment.
Action 7 Weather utilizes AccuWeather, a national meteorological service.
If you're a woman with high blood pressure, here are good reasons to stay on your medication.
There are people around who need you so. They shower you with love just to let you know. They want you to be there to see their dreams come true. But you won't be there if you don't take care of you. Do it for her. Do it for her. Do it for him. Do it for him. Do it for your loving man.
woman with high blood pressure, don't let it lead to a stroke, kidney, or heart failure. Treat it and live. Stay on your daily medication, if not for yourself, for them.
Do it for all the loved ones in your life.
A public service of this station and the Advertising Council.
A message of importance to TV viewers in the Raton, Miami, and Maxwell areas of Colfax County. The television site maintained by Tony Ray needs repairs. More donations are needed or the entire installation may be shut down. Maintenance of the TV translator on Eagle Tail Peak is supported strictly by your donations. If you haven't made yours, you probably won't continue to get any TV via your rooftop antenna. Please contact Tony Ray and Raton immediately at 445-9031 or send your $12 annual dues to Post Office Box 366, Raton 87740.
Well, we've got quite a bit of sun on the map here, but actually those high clouds in the southern portion and those clouds in the north and east section will have to really leave before we can call it completely fair. So we'll call it partly sunny through tomorrow and mild temperatures up through southwestern Colorado, kind of fair with a few high clouds. Oh, lows in the teens tonight and warming to about the mid-40s through Cortez and Durango, 46 there tomorrow, about a 49 at Farmington. Most of the Four Corners area should be fair through tomorrow. Sunny skies and highs ranging from 46 at Blanding, Utah, down to 48 at Winter Rock, Arizona. Now, Gallup and Grants, fair skies 18 to 20 tonight and 48 to 50 tomorrow during the day with about 20s again tomorrow night. So very slow warming trend after the cooling during the day. 50s for highs down through the south and west should be mostly fair except toward the southern portion. High clouds developing through the Silver City, Lordsburg, and Deming area. About a 63 in that region. That is Lordsburg 63, 64 at Deming, a warmer 65 at El Paso, 62 at TRC, and Las Cruces and Alamogordo into the 60s, 30s tonight, and of course tomorrow night. High clouds to the Ruidoso area. There'll be some sun mixed with that, so partly cloudy in most of this area. 49 for their high. And the south and east fair with high clouds through tomorrow. Oh, about 32 tonight for most part. And then 58 to near 60 for highs tomorrow. Eastern Plains area will see highs ranging from 58 at Fort Sumner to 54 at Portales, 53 at Clovis and at Tucumcari, fair with high clouds. And again, fair to partly cloudy through tonight with those scattered snow showers. They should be tapering off by now. Tomorrow should be partly cloudy north and east, with highs ranging from 48 at Las Vegas to 42 at Mora and at Springer with a 48 at Raton, and cool 38 at Alamos and Red River, otherwise near 40 in the section up here with 37 at Shama. So partly cloudy in all of this area through tomorrow. Espanola 52, 45 at Los Alamos, 52 at Santa Fe, so mild temperatures under partly cloudy skies tomorrow, and Moriarty down through Socorro, partly cloudy with 50s and 60s there. So enough clouds to call it partly cloudy through tomorrow. A little bit cooler tomorrow, but there should be a warming trend and more sunshine by Sunday in all of the area.
Clear conditions at 2 a.m. in Albuquerque with 33 degrees outside and 64% relative humidity. Winds are coming from the east at 6 and the pressure is rising at 30.22.
Now, tonight's lows, again, will be in the upper 20s or low 30s. Tomorrow's highs, instead of being in the 60s, will remain in the 50s, so a little cooler tomorrow. And it'll be about 26 in the valley, 32 in the heights tonight. And keeping it cooler tomorrow, of course, will be those high clouds. We'll call some sun and some clouds, partly cloudy or partly sunny tomorrow, with a high reaching about 58 degrees. So it's still kind of mild for this time of year. And with, what, about a week to go till spring, we're looking forward to warmer temperatures.
I know a lot of people in the northeastern United States who would welcome 58 tomorrow.
Yeah, consider that a summer day, wouldn't they?
Would.
And I'll be back in a minute with a long-range forecast for Albuquerque.
I wanted more out of life than a 9-to-5 desk job. That's why I became a nurse practitioner and why I'm so interested in healthcare. I really love people and I really love helping them. What's going on? How's your eye?
Oh, it's a little bit better.
Okay. Could I take a look at it? I bring health care to people in areas where the nearest hospital and doctor may be 40 miles away. There are more than 200 different careers in the health field. Mine took years to learn. Others just take a few months. It's hard work, but the rewards make up for it. A smile, a hug, little things that say I'm loved and needed.
Health careers. Write to this address for a free booklet that tells you all about them. National Health Council, Box 40, Radio City Station, New York, 10019. Put your love to work in the health field. A public service of this station and the Advertising Council.
An important message for TV viewers in San Juan County, New Mexico. If you are not watching through a cable hookup, you are watching this and other programs over UHF television translators located on the bluff south of Farmington. For example, non-cable viewers watch the Super Bowl only over these translators. These translators are operated strictly through your donations. San Juan Nonprofit TV must have your annual dues of $18 now to maintain these translators on the air. Send your $18 dues in immediately and keep your San Juan UHF TV on the air.
And the long-range forecast for Albuquerque, partly sunny tomorrow, a high of 58 degrees, slightly warmer on Sunday with a little more sunshine, warming to 60 degrees, even warmer on Monday, 63 degrees under sunny skies, warmer on Tuesday, 65 degrees, mostly fair, and mostly fair through Wednesday with a high of 65 degrees. Okay, Dick.
Thanks, Howard. A couple of late scores that Mike asked me to pass on to you in the NCAA West Regionals. Pepperdine, 92, Utah, 88. That's in overtime. And in the Midwest Regional, Virginia Tech 70, Jacksonville 53. That's Action News at 10 for this Friday night. I'm Dick Niffing. From all of us to all of you, have a good weekend.
The preceding was a rebroadcast of Action News at 10, which aired on Friday, March 9th, 1979. Stay tuned now for Community Calendar, followed by a lineup of great shows you'll be seeing today on KOAT-TV. It's time now for Community Calendar, a look at what's happening in your community. Southwestern Textiles and Pueblo Pottery, an exhibit of 19th century Spanish and Navajo blankets, is on display in the Maxwell Museum of Anthropology's exhibit in the First Plaza Galleria. The show focuses on blankets woven by the Spanish settlers during the last half of the 19th century. Navajo blankets of the same period and Indian pottery dating from 1890 are included. The hours are 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. The mini-museum is located in First Plaza Galleria, 2nd and Tijeras in Albuquerque. Barbara de Genevieve and Barbara Nugent will present a slide lecture first given in conjunction with the opening of Intimate Statements, an exhibition of nationally recognized artists which hung in the UNM Teaching Gallery in February. That presentation will be on Saturday, March 10th. That's today at 3 p.m. at the Downtown Center for the Arts at 216 Central Southwest. A dinner theater performance of Gilbert and Sullivan's The Mikado will be presented tonight and tomorrow by the music department of First United Methodist Church, 4th and Lead Southwest. March 10th, dinner and show at 6:30 p.m. The tickets are $6, and there is just a show only on March 11th at 4 p.m. The tickets are $3. More information, call 243-5646. Santa Fe Jazz Dance opens its 4th season in New Mexico with the production of Waves 4 at Popejoy Hall on March 12th and 13th, and at the Greer Garson Theater in Santa Fe on March 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. The curtain time is at 8:15 p.m. Tickets in Albuquerque are available at Popejoy, and tickets for the Santa Fe performance are available at Waves Box Office at 124 West Palace Avenue in Santa Fe. A youth employment workshop to help Albuquerque Public Schools Indian students find summer employment will be held on March 13th at 7 p.m. at the Albuquerque Urban Indian Center, 1114 7th Street Northwest. All participating Indian students will have a chance to register with youth-serving employment agencies and to hear presentations on employment opportunities in Albuquerque. Plan to bring a friend and attend the Youth Employment Workshop on March 13th. For more information, call Bill Lee at 345-8531 or Edwin Pratt at 243-2253. Sandia High School Choral Department is presenting You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, March 21st through the 24th at the Sandia High Theater, beginning at 8 p.m. A spot bid sale of surplus government property will be held also on March 21st at the West Theater, Building 485 on Kirtland Air Force Base. For more information, call 264-9755. Image de Nuevo Mexico, a state organization concerned with Hispanics in public employment and part of the National Image Incorporated, will hold its 2nd annual Image de Nuevo Mexico State Convention at the Chalaco Inn in Albuquerque, New Mexico, March 22nd through the 24th. For more information, call 294-8908 or 766-3639, or write to Image de Nuevo Mexico Convention at Post Office Box 335 in Albuquerque. Archbishop Robert Sanchez will be the featured speaker at the annual Spring Prayer Breakfast on March 30th at 7:30 a.m. in the University of New Mexico Student Union Ballroom. It's sponsored by the Associated Students of UNM and campus religious organizations. The breakfast is open to the public. Non-student tickets are $4 and student tickets are $2. Tickets may be purchased at the UNM Student Activities Office and all Ticketmaster outlets. And if you have any announcements of special interest concerning your school or other nonprofit organization, write us at Community Calendar, Post Office Box 4156 in Albuquerque. Zip code is 87196. KOAT TV 7 is where you belong for great television viewing. Get together for an all-star Saturday morning, then enjoy a sports-filled afternoon. At 5 o'clock this afternoon, Johnny Paycheck and Dickie Lee are among the guest stars appearing on Hee Haw. Then get the latest news, sports, and weather at 6 o'clock with the Weekend Action 7 News team. Enjoy the fast, lively, and entertaining $1.98 beauty show with host Rip Taylor at 6:30. At 7 o'clock, Hoover tries to help Pinto with an embarrassing problem, and the Deltas and the Omegas get caught in a comedy of errors on Delta House. Then ABC News correspondent Frank Reynolds will anchor a special report on Middle East peace, the Carter Gamble, at 7:30. Julie sets her sights on an older man on the Love Boat at 8 with guests Leslie Nielsen, Paul Burke, and Arlene Dahl. Then at 9 o'clock, a carpenter wants to be a jewel thief, and an engaged woman goes looking for Mr. Right on Fantasy Island. Weekend Action 7 News returns at 10. At 10:30, Errol Flynn, Juliet Greco, and Orson Welles star in The Roots of Heaven on the Saturday Movies of the Weekend. Then John Wayne, John Carroll, and Paul Kelly star in Flying Tigers on the 21st Century Classic Theater. It's all here on TV 7, where you belong. Good TV is everyone's business. TV 7, a subscriber to and a member in good standing of the Television Code of the National Association of Broadcasters, welcomes your comments and your criticisms. Write us or call us anytime at KOAT-TV and watch TV 7, your television code station. This is KOAT and KLE 64 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. KOAT-TV now leaves the air to return later this morning at 6:50 a.m. with the test signal, followed at 7 o'clock with regular programming. This is Bill Harris, speaking for all of us here at KOAT-TV. We wish you a very good night and a good morning.
Good evening. I'm Louis Hightower, pastor of the Shiloh Baptist Church here in the city. I'd like to speak to you this evening from the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 17, verse 28. For in him we live, move, and have our being. A young man tells a story of his first bicycle. He say that he had never ridden a bicycle before. So patiently his father and other members of his family tried to teach him the art of cycling. He soon found out that there was one thing he must do if he was to stay on the bicycle: keep moving. If he ceased to go forward, he would fall and hurt himself. So it is with the Christian life. We can never live this life on the highest plane unless we continually grow and move forward. You should be closer to God today in your heart, soul, and body than at any other time in your life.